All right, I'm going to answer a question here that comes up. That comes up often on my channel. It comes up even in the mind of myself when I'm talking my talk. Why, if feeding balls and playing off a feed is so bad, then why do the pros do it? Why do we see so many pros on TV, on YouTube when they're at tournaments hitting off of a feed? And this, I'm going to get more into this. So if you're interested in this kind of stuff, please subscribe, like the video. I'm going to get more in depth in this, to these reasons why. And I could think of three reasons. There's three reasons why pros do this. And the first one that I want to talk about, that in most cases, professional tennis players aren't developing as a player, because this really is the gist of it. They're not. When we're talking about feeding, we're talking about a player who's learning. They are not learning, not as far as like who they are as a player. They've already been through this whole thing for what? Sometimes 10, sometimes 20 years. So they're not there. They're not there to continue developing as a player. It's already done. So this is, I mean, really, this is the number one reason, which is, we're going to get in here and you'll see how this makes sense with the number two and number three. The second reason is the travel. They're doing something fundamentally different than everyone who's watching. And this is what I don't think people understand. They are not in the same, they're not doing the same thing. They're traveling, they're playing a money match, a money tournament, trying to make money. And that's essentially, you can't deny that. That's what they're doing. Travel is difficult. So how do you keep yourself comfortable? You keep yourself comfortable by keeping things the same. That's arguably more important than anything else when you're doing what they're doing. They want to keep things the same. And a good way to do that is to feed balls. And see, that's much different than when you're developing. When you're developing, you don't want to keep things the same. And I'm not going to get into that in this video as to why. You don't want to keep things the same. You want to learn how to adapt. They've already done that. Hopefully it's in there, at least somewhere in their memory. And remember, they're not feeding balls. It's not like a ton of feeding. It's just a little bit, just to get comfortable. Oftentimes we're talking about a coach being with them. There's no players there. So for a coach to play with them and not be a player and not be on the court, the coach needs to feel comfortable too. The coach has to go about their day, and could be dealing with jet lag and the travel. It's just much better to feed the ball all around. That may be the most important reason, to be honest. Oftentimes myself, when I go to these tournaments and watch, even just watching and filming, I don't want to play. If I play, I'm gonna if I even jump on the court to play for an hour, I'm gonna ruin my day. I got other things I have to do. So the third reason, most are going to win. Most of these players are going to win based on the first ball. Most of them are going to win based on holding serve the first ball. And, with that being the case, after that, the balls are often staying low. They're often easy. If it is difficult, that's of secondary importance. They're not going to win the match based on what they do in a rally, or maybe they do, but it's not something that they can control in the moment, especially considering everything I just said. So it doesn't really make sense to practice this randomness of not using a feed. It perfectly makes sense to use a feed. I mean, these balls, like I said, most of them are coming low. They don't have a lot of spin on them. They don't have a lot of different crazy action that they're not used to. So, feeding the ball actually makes perfect sense. Serve the ball in, have a feed, and hit it to a spot. And that goes along with that goes, like, as I said, goes along with the first two reasons. So those are the main reasons. And if you think that it's any other reason, I have to disappoint you that you are fooling yourself, as most people are. And maybe you enjoy being fooled. I don't know. But again, give me a like the video if you enjoy this. Comment if you want, if you think, whatever your thoughts are. And thanks for watching. Have a great day.